Do you ever feel like you're on a hamster wheel trying to keep up with the high demand of content creation? Well, every problem your target audience has starts with one thing, a question. But what if the solution was already right in front of you? Most businesses miss the simplest strategy to building authority and trust in their industry. Because the easiest way to connect with your audience isn't creating more content. It's about turning the right questions into content that works for your business. To reach your target audience on a level that makes them feel understood and heard. But did you know that there are over 8 billion Google searches that happen every single day? Which means that in the 10 seconds you and I have been talking, there's been almost 1 million searches that have been looking for answers. Imagine the untapped potential of answering just a fraction of those questions with your content. The content that resonates the most with your target audience makes them feel understood.
Now we're getting into real territory here.
The belief that you can solve someone's problem starts with speaking to that inner voice that everyone has in their head and making them know that you not only understand the problem they face, but you know the solution that they need to fix that problem.
All right, if you say so. I tell you, it's so hard to remember boring stuff like that.
So by far, the easiest and fastest way to do this is to answer the internet's most frequently asked questions in your industry or niche.
Deleted.
So today I'm going to go about showing you 3 methods to gathering all of your target audience's most frequently asked questions. And then we are going to consolidate these so we can later upload them into your infinite content vault to build your database of an endless stream of content marketing ideas. So there are 2 reasons that you would be watching this video. The first one is you're already doing the Infinite Content Marketing Ideas Playbook along with us, and you're already in the middle of building your Infinite Content Vault. But the second reason you might be here is because you happened across this video on YouTube because you understand the power of answering your audience's most frequently asked questions. But as a bonus, what if you built what I'm calling a vault, a content vault, an infinite content vault that's ready and waiting with all of your top SEO and AEO research, top performing competitor videos and blogs, not to mention all of your branding information that would not only support content creation in the way that you want to produce content, but be an AI tool that can completely transform the way you think about how content is created in the first place. Because once you build this database, you're going to be able to create top performing content consistently. It's as easy as asking ChatGPT, except you don't have to explain to this AI who you are and what you want to talk about. Just because this might be hard to imagine, here is a quick demo of what I'm talking about. So see over here, you have videos, you have blogs, you have documents, and between all of these sources, I have now an infinite vault of ideas, meaning that if I say, I could ask for one idea, I could ask for create a series based on the sources, let's say a 5-part, create a 5-part series based on the sources, enter. So let's see what it comes up with. But while it's thinking, let's also look over here because you can generate an actual podcast. And I highly recommend you come in and try this. It's super creepy how real they sound, and just a little forewarning for what the future holds for us all. So over here though, you could create, based on the information that you've given the vault, you could create a study guide, which actually means you could create a tangible PDF based on your industry and top and niche for your audience. You could also create what's called a briefing doc. Now, of course, that sounds very corporate, and one thing I will say about the briefing doc is that it's not like what you're thinking. It's not a generic version of here's what to do and how to do it. But what it does do is it pulls out all of the best topics from your sources and gives you many, many ideas and angles at which to come at topics from. Because for me, I'm in content marketing. There is an infinite number of ideas and an infinite number of angles that I could come at that from. And the problem is that would basically stop most people in their tracks because they're like, wait, what do I do? And so what this does is it helps narrow down and give you a focus point of each individual piece of content, because your content, basically the rule of thumb is if you're asking your target audience to remember or believe more than one thing at a time, then they're not going to believe anything. And so you want every piece of content to have one particular focus. But learning behavioral changes, learning change in behavior as a result of new information. This is a part of content marketing, because the whole point of content marketing is to create a change in behavior. And so having a piece of content about the study on that is actually kind of ironic, but you know what? That is definitely part of content marketing. So, as I said though, oh my God. So, here is just a live example though. I asked create a 5-part series based on the sources. So, here is an outline for a 5-part series. The series title is Mastering Your Audience and Lead Generation. Who here needs that? Who here wants that? Okay, so basically for your infinite content vault with your infinite ideas, you could be creating this exact same thing for yourself. So part 1, defining your ideal customer, the foundation of lead generation. Oh my gosh. So this has not only that, 3 key concepts and an actionable takeaway for me to create 2 lead magnets and core offers, attracting and engaging your ideal customer. Hang on, in the comments below, please tell me if this is something that you actually want me to create, because this seems rather relevant. Part 3, content pillars and the content unit, crafting engaging content that drives leads. Yep. Part 4, the 4 core methods of lead generation: warm to cold, one-to-one, and one-to-many. And I would also add in my scale of belief, which is one of the videos in the Infinite Content Marketing Ideas Playbook. And I highly recommend that you do that exercise, because it's really powerful and really going to make you think about content from a different angle. Where'd part 5 go? Optimizing your strategy, data, testing, and iteration. Because of course, don't reinvent the wheel, just use what works. Not that that's the whole video, but that's kind of the summarization of it. This 5-part series should provide a comprehensive guide to mastering your audience and generating leads, drawing on key concepts from the provided sources and our conversation history. Now, just so you guys know, when you are using Notebook LM, if you do not save the note from this chat box in the middle is basically like 10-second Tom. If you don't save the note, then it will go away. And so that's just one thing to keep in mind, that when you're using Notebook LM, this is something that's supposed to clear out. Over here on the right-hand side, though, these notes down here are things that you will always be here when you come back. So guys, this is just a very, very short and sweet demonstration of how this Infinite Content Vault, in literally seconds, created an entire 5-part series that is pretty relevant. And to be honest with you, comment below if you actually want me to make this series, because I have a feeling if you wanted infinite content ideas, you also want the 5-part series on how to generate leads, is basically how I would summarize what that 5-part series really was about. This is just to get you excited about what we are building in this series. So let's get back to it. So if you're ready to build your own Infinite Content Marketing Vault, then there's a link below. If you're ready to stop scrambling on content, I have been building business tech systems for almost a decade now, and this one is probably in the top of what I've created, because you're going to have an endless, infinite stream of content ideas day after day, year after year, simply by putting the work in up front. But this video is just one of 10 free strategies that you can use to create content marketing that will not only resonate with your audience, but it's also based on existing high top performing content. And then it also has an added zest from your personal branding. In this video though, we are going to do 3 very simple and easy methods to gather the most frequently asked questions by your target or ideal audience in your industry. Because by far the simplest, lowest hanging fruit when it comes to content is answering your target audience's most frequently asked questions. Because businesses live to solve problems, but all problems first start as a question. So the other thing we're gonna need for this exercise is within the playbook, there is a link to the workbook, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna use these 3 methods to consolidate all of our most frequently asked questions in our industries so that we are very specific. Okay, so this first tip is actually quite simple, and you're gonna probably laugh when you see how simple it is, but at the end of the day, this is going to get us where we want to go. So in one of our last videos, we did a deep dive into Pinterest and how to use Pinterest trends to develop some of our own keywords and keywords that we want to target. So I recommend, if you don't know where to start here, maybe start with that video to figure out what keywords we're gonna target for this search. But essentially what we are going to do, oh, well, that's perfect. I'm just typing in content marketing frequently asked questions. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna come down here to this section that says people also ask, and you're gonna open and close, and as you can see, a bunch of other questions are coming up. Now, you can do this as much as you want, but for the purposes of this demo, I'm going to stop right here, and you're going to select all of these questions, copy them, and then you're gonna come over into the workbook. There's a page for people also ask, and you're going to paste the text. Now, I do paste and match style because it's going to unformat however Google search is. So, and there you have it. Here is a list of questions, and also, if we want, we can bullet point them. But this is a list of Google's frequently asked questions for content marketing. So for you, what is your industry? What is your target audience struggling with, and more importantly, what are they asking Google for help with? So what I want you to do is I want you to pause this video and do this action as we go along. So I want you to go to Google and do the search, open up the people also ask, and I want you to come and copy and paste those into this document. I am also going to do the same before we move on to the next 2 strategies for gathering all of the best frequently asked questions. All right, guys, so we have Google's most frequently asked questions. Now, of course, your list is going to look different from mine, but I am doing this exercise with you guys because I want to show you how easy it is to do, but not only that it doesn't take that much time to simply get the internet to tell you what people are asking about. But the next tool we're going to use needs no introduction. ChatGPT has literally taken on a life of its own, being the trailblazer of the AI atmosphere. But we are going to give it 3 prompts that is going to get ChatGPT to give us their perceived top questions, because they have access to data that we don't have access to. So what you're going to do is you're just going to fill in the blanks, but ultimately just copy and paste the text into ChatGPT and take those questions ChatGPT spits out and paste them into your own document here. So let's just do that really fast, and I'll see you on the other side. All right, so we now have all of ChatGPT's variations on the same search of what is your customer asking What is your customer most frequently asking about? Now, of course, as you can see, I had to make another page to add all these questions in there. And I also added to the prompt, no answers, just questions, because as you go through and you talk to ChatGPT more, you get smarter about how to get what you really need. And one of the prompts I gave it, it actually spit out all the answers. And I was like, no, I don't want you to answer the questions. I just want you to tell me what people are asking, because our content is going to answer those questions. And later, if you need ChatGPT to answer the question for you, that's totally fine. But at this moment in time, we need just the questions, because we're going to take these questions and include it in this entire workbook and playbook to create your infinite content vault. So later, when you say, I need to answer one of the most frequently asked questions today, it's already going to have an entire database full of questions for you to answer, and they are ready to go just from the wave of a button, from the typing of the fingers. And easily you can add another page as necessary, because you could also, instead of using my prompts, use different prompts and get an infinitely longer list of questions. So this isn't about how you do it as much as just that it is that you do it. And we now have all of our most frequently asked questions ready to go. And when we upload them into our content vault, then our content vault gets that much smarter and that much more in tune with what our ideal audience is really searching for. But that is not all. So the last platform is Quora, and we are going to ask Quora for what people are coming to ask Quora about when it comes to your specific target audience. So what is content marketing? We can answer that question. So simply what you're going to do is the same thing we've been doing with everything else. We're coming in and we are simply coming in here and we are going to be collecting all of the top questions. One thing that makes this a little different than the other two is when you're asking Google to present you with what people are asking, and it's curating this for you, versus Quora, real people come in and really ask these questions, and then it's also dated, so you know how recently these questions are being asked, so you know how relevant they are to the actual moment right now. One of the other things you can do, and this is a way to seed your traffic for content marketing, is you save this search results page, and later once you make content answering these questions, you come back and you actually put your answers in Quora. And people, for instance, does content marketing actually work? The answer is yes. Because all of your target audiences are online and they're somewhere. You just have to find them and, more importantly, answer the questions that they are asking. Is ChatGPT good for content marketing? Oh my gosh, I want to look at the answer to that. That's so funny. I definitely have mixed reviews on whether or not I believe ChatGPT is a replaceable. It cannot replace everything, and it's very funny to watch ChatGPT make mistakes in my personal expertise. And you have an expertise too. So people are very reliant, let's say, on AI these days, whereas I feel like people are just giving it a little too much credit. Which is the best strategy, SEO or content marketing? And I would ultimately have to make a piece of content saying they are both vitally important to the success of anything that you put online. How do you measure content marketing? Well, you would need to look at your data analytics. You would need to look at how your content is performing. Now, on each individual platform, that looks a little different. But also there are platforms where you can consolidate all of your social media accounts into one place, and you can look at your analytics all in one place. That tool is in my toolbox that we talked about in one of the last videos. Unfortunately, if I talked about everything I've ever talked about on this channel, these videos would be 10 hours long. So at this point, we are collecting all of the frequently asked questions. I don't want anything sponsored because it's not popping up as an organic search result. It's being paid to be there. All right, so at this point, you have a collection now of all the most frequently asked questions on Quora about your target, from your target audience. And as I said, as a bonus tip, is if you go through and actually create this content, then you can go through and actually answer these questions. And if you have the best answer, then people could be finding you on Quora because people are asking questions on Quora all the time. But more importantly, even if you're not answering questions directly on Quora, then by answering the questions asked on Quora, you know these are real people asking these real questions. It seems as though my target audience wants to understand maybe the differences between SEO and content marketing and how they relate to each other, especially when you look at Quora's questions versus ChatGPT's questions and Google's questions. Because as you go through this process, you're going to notice that they give you very different questions to answer. Because, for instance, I would say Google's questions were more about, they wanted to know about all the marketing acronyms. Like they wanted to understand the fundamentals of marketing. So understanding the actual fork and knife of it all, right? You want to know what these mean and how they apply to marketing. ChatGPT had questions that were more about customer centric. They were more about what does the customer get? Like the frequently asked questions from ChatGPT was all about how do we tell the customer how they're going to benefit from working with us. And Quora was more, since Quora is real people asking these real questions once and then posting it and then real people answering, these questions were a bit more about strategy and less about understanding marketing and more about understanding how to actually go about implementing marketing. So it was very interesting to do this exercise anyway, because ultimately you're going to get different facets of what people are actually asking when it pertains to your industry or niche. So of course, these are not the only places that you can find your target audience's most frequently asked questions. You can go to your competitors' websites. You can go to Facebook groups and any other platform where your community, you could go to the YouTube comments, any other platform where your target audience is gathering has the potential to yield really important and insightful questions as to what your target audience is struggling with so that you're reaching them where they are. But if you are not sure about the documents that I was sharing in this video, then you aren't doing the Infinite Content Marketing Ideas Playbook and building your own Infinite Content Vault. That link is down in the description in case you want to join us, because we have 10 free strategies for coming up and building a database designed and programmed to support you so that day after day, year after year, when you have to come up with your content ideas, they're already going to be there just by the click of a button. It's already primed and ready to go to spit out content that your target audience is already searching for. And we just created a database for all of the most frequently asked questions in our niches. So now it's going to know exactly what questions we need to be answering in the content that we're creating. So now that we have our target audience's most frequently asked questions, the next tool and tip that we are going to use is going to reach our customers on a much deeper level through their own desires and struggles. Because we need to make our content align with our target audience. Because in order for it to make an impact, we really need to speak directly to their current mindset and help them along the journey of shifting their potentially false beliefs, which we did in one of our other videos, to help them understand why not only you are the authority in your space, but also how to develop a relationship with them that builds trust and authority along the way. So you are not going to want to miss that one, and I will see you there. Thanks for tuning into Business Fundamentals with me, the Business Cowgirl. And if you want more free, awesome content just like this to help your business grow and develop online from a seasoned expert in business technical architecture. But if you really want your business to grow, then I highly recommend you check out my weekly newsletter, Winning Business, from somebody who's been a business consultant for the last 10 years, helping businesses create efficient and effective workflows to help their businesses save them time, money, and resources. What does that really mean? It means the answer to the question of what you need to build for where your business is trying to go. So when you're ready, those links are always down in all my video descriptions for you. So to be continued.